Good morning on this first day of winter. Yes, it is, and it's freezing outside. Not very much, but there is some icing on the grass. Yeah, media. Yes, media. The kinds of media I use and how I use them. Yes, it's going to be a fuzzy one, I think. I got a feeling it will. Okay, I'm going to start with something that's known to everyone. And I'm going to get you a little bit closer. Hold up. Yeah, the light in this room is dreadful to film with. Okay. This is normal sized pine bark, and it has a little piece of granite in it that should be in there. This is, well, you can get this in multiple sizes. This is about a centimeter, a little smaller, and you can get this from a size up, like it's like this, and that's the one that Roger usually uses. He calls that a medium bark, and if you look at Ed from Ed's Orchids, he sometimes uses pieces like this, which is large bark. I use this. Why? Well, it's readily available. Where I buy this is pre-soaked, and it has some benefits and some drawbacks. The drawback is that it decays much faster than non-pre-soaked bark. This can also get some fungus. It can get a little bit of mold, which isn't that bad. Mold doesn't attack the plant. It can, however, cause acidity and other bad stuff in the roots. But I'm digressing. Yeah, this is pre-soaked, which means that the moment I water it, this takes up water, so it lightens the load. It has a little bit of moss in it, but not that much. And I use this for, Dendrobium nobile, for one. The oncidiums with the larger root systems really like it, and it's really inexpensive. I buy this in bulk. Oh yeah, we didn't need granite. Next up, also one of my favorites as of late. This is seedling bark. This is about 5 millimeters and even smaller. And I use that on oncidiums with very fine root systems. I will show you one. This is, let me think, Oncidium Rosy Sunset. It's a small oncidium type, and it has a very fine root system. And if you put that in big bark, no, it doesn't really work. They don't like it, at least not in my grow room. That's also one thing. A little bit of a disclaimer. All this stuff is fine and dandy, but it may not work for you, so be careful when you start testing. So, seedling bark, For small roots, very fine root systems, it stays wet, and that's because it compacts really easy, so water keeps standing in it. This lets water through very easy. Okay, hold up, I'm already 5 minutes in. It's too long, too long. I'm gonna save the best for last, so moss. It's a very important ingredient. Both these two have moss in them, but the way I use it, at the moment I only have one orchid that's in full moss. No, that's not true. I also have catasequins in full moss, but they ain't doing anything yet. Phalaenopsis equestris. It is très petite, but it is growing, and it's in full moss to keep it, moist. It had some yesterday, so it's wet. Yeah, this is basically the only reason I use it is to get some roots started. We have a example. This is Oncidium Twinkle, and here you can see that there's nothing in the bark yet. This is Seedling Bark, and these pebbles are for weight, nothing else. So that's not growing media in my book. But you can see here that by keeping the base a little moist, the roots will grow and eventually go down, as you see here. Yeah, this is really crappy. It's post Monday, yes, damn. Everything too close to Monday is crap. So yeah, you can use moss as a rooting media. And of course, you can use it to mount, which I really like to do. Yeah, you have different types of moss. Let me bring you back to the table. And there we go. This is one of the 7 species of sphagnum we have in Holland. And, well, I picked this myself, which is illegal. This is long strand moss. And as you can see, it's pretty long. This soaks up a lot of water, 10 times its own weight, and it dries out fairly quick, which is important on mounts. I also have this. This is a type of hook moss, and no sir, I don't like it. It takes a long time for water to suck in, and it dries out way too fast. So that's, no, I don't use it very often. You can get this moss as New Zealand sphagnum, and then it's completely dry and it's horrible stuff to work with. So I don't use that. What I do use is this. This is a small strand of sphagnum, and this can be used as extra moist media in larger pots. I don't have an example for that one, but trust me, it can be used. And it's also horrible stuff because it breaks really, really easy. Okay, the pièce de résistance. It's this stuff. That's the reason I'm making this video. This is a mixture, and it is sold as a Cymbidium mix in the shop where I get my orchids. And it is quite a mix. I have bark, coconut fibers, my own hair, but that's not part of the mix. I have coconut husk, sphagnum, and these are clumps. And I have pieces of peat. This is dirt. I use this for orchids that need to hold a little more moist. I have here a small Obsidian type, which is of the cooler variety, and it needs a little moist. Now this again has pros and cons. I also have a zygopetalum in it. There we go, it's pretty, but according to Michael McCarthy it will probably not flower, which is a bummer. This stuff has a very high acidity, and that's because it has peat and sphagnum in it. So if you use this, well, you need to flush a little bit more. A pro is that it stays wet, but not too wet, and it doesn't compact like this stuff does, or moss. So it stays wet and yet provide air gaps for evaporation and a little bit of airflow. It's very coarse, but very useful. So if you want to make this yourself, and you probably have to because I haven't seen it anywhere else, sorry, the moss needs to be compacted. Well, you can do that at home. You need hard peat. Don't make any jokes about hard peat. Maybe you can buy this in garden centers as turf. Turf is compacted peat. And then mix away. Now you probably noticed there is no inorganic media, and that's because I hate inorganic media. I will not stoop to inorganic media. So we have normal wood, pine bark, petite pine bark. Very careful when you use this. And we have a hodgepodge of stuff. So I hope this is comprehensible. It is green in the grow room and very dark outside. For the night is dark and full of terrors, and what a really bad last season was that. Yes, I'm almost at 14 minutes. I'm gonna waffle for another 10 seconds, and what time was it? No, I completely forgot. Yeah, that's it. Later.